NFL insiders say the Chiefs spent some extra time with wide receiver Carnell Tate. We're going to talk about that. Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom NFL fans worldwide. We are back with a live stream for you. Let's freaking go. We're going to talk about the Carnell Tate situation. A lot of other guys that the Chiefs have met with. Could be some good-looking guys to look at during the draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to talk about all that much more. Before we get started, do us a favor. Hit that like button. Get this out to more people. So Carnell Tate's kind of become the it name for Chiefs fans. Reports from insiders and Tate's own comments at the Combine have confirmed that the Kansas City Chiefs are doing significant homework on this kid, right? Well, insiders including Travis May and local Ohio State reporters noted that the Chiefs contingent spent extensive time, quote, extensive time with Tate during the Buckeyes Pro Day. This follows a formal meeting at the Combine where Tate mentioned he was excited about the prospect of playing with Patrick Mahomes. Mike, what do you think about the Kansas City Chiefs looking at receiver at number 9 in the draft?
Yeah, we've been saying it. Look, it's looking like there's going to be a couple ways the Chiefs can go, and one of them is a wide receiver. Why? We've talked about this plenty of times. In the NFL, you've got pay targets, and quarterback is always the highest, and then defensive end's always right there. So defensive end is going to be somebody you got to look at. Wide receivers actually come up in the last 5 years. Wide receiver is the third highest paid positional value on the field. So to get a receiver like a Carnell Tate at number 9 for $31.5 million guaranteed for up to 5 years, that is big. And I think that you really have to consider that. And I know a lot of people want defense. I would prefer defense. Just because we're talking about Carnell Tate today and some of the things he said does not mean that we're on here trying to sell you on drafting Carnell Tate. We're just giving you the information that come out. And I thought this was a good quote today. You said that Travis May had been saying this. He had actually tweeted this. Carnell Tate's confirmed extensive time with 3 teams, the Chiefs, the Saints, and the New York team. So actually 4. I guess he meant the Giants and the Jets there. But I also found this to be very interesting. Carnell Tate was asked via Paul Schwartz of the New York Times, and this is what he told him when he asked him what he was telling teams like the Chiefs. So I'm thinking that this is what he told the Chiefs when they interviewed him. He said, quote, "I got the mindset that I'm the best wide receiver in this draft class. I got the route running ability. I'm able to manipulate DBs. I got catching ability. I can contested catch over DBs and make great catches. I have a field awareness on the sideline, a couple of sideline grabs in my highlight reel. Also, showing up in the blocking game, I can block defensive ends, corners, whatever you need me to do, he's going to block his ass off." And that is what I feel like Carnell Tate told all these teams, which means he probably sat down with Brett Veach and he told them this. I think Carnell Tate is the clear-cut wide receiver 1 right now. I have moved him back ahead of Mekhi Lemon because I think the more and more I've actually dug in and watched Carnell Tate, I actually do like him, and I don't think that 4.5 140 time at the Combine is that big of a deal to be crazy about.
Right. Well, let's talk about that for a second. So the focus here, so reportedly the Chiefs were enamored with his contested catch ability, 85.7% success rate in 2025. And his route running polish. So the Chiefs were enamored with that stuff. They also said that while Tate ran a 4.53 at the Combine, some team stopwatches reportedly had him in at 4.4 on his pro day, which has erased all the concerns anyone had about vertical speed with Carnell Tate. So were the Chiefs one of those teams? Quite possibly. And here's the thing about it, man. I'm not the biggest fan of taking a wide receiver at number 9. I feel like the Chiefs are always, like every season, it's like you have half of Chiefs Kingdom saying, we have to draft defense, nothing but defense. You have the other half that like the fancy stuff, and they're like, let's get wide receiver. We want a wide receiver. And lately, I mean, I think both of those have been appeased by Brett Veach, but we just traded up and took Xavier Worthy, like literally 2 years ago. And I don't know if they spend number 9 on a receiver. However, Carnell Tate gives you that X receiver that a lot of the fan base has been yelling about for years now. I think the kid is fantastic. I'm with you. I've got him back at number 1 on my board as well, as far as wide receivers go. Mekhi Lemon's just a little too weird for my taste. I don't know about it. But I think this is an actual issue to talk about here. Like, should the Chiefs do this? Because if you look at it, they need defensive line help, and the only way you're getting premium defensive line help is top 40 picks. Brett Veach said it himself.
Yeah.
You've talked about it, all that stuff. So if you go out and spend number 9 on a wide receiver, that kind of puts you in a place where you got 29, you got 40. So you're going to have to grab one of those guys, and you have no chance of getting a Reuben Bain or David Bailey at that point. So, I mean, if you want top end blue chip pass rusher, you have to be at 9 or trade up. So I don't know if I'm exactly in the camp that thinks we should sit and take a wide receiver at 9. Now, if he's there and that's just the way everything played out, then maybe we talk about it.
Right. You mentioned the Carnell Tate stopwatch controversy, and it was a big thing. He was clocked at 4.53, but he stumbled. He ended up clocking at 4.51 on his next run, I believe is how it worked. I could be wrong about that. But I know it was right in the low 4.5s. Adam Schefter actually come out and said that people there, so you said pro day, but their pro day is not till the 25th of this month. So it wasn't at the pro day. They were actually there. So people with their handheld clocks were saying that they timed him anywhere between 4.45 and 4.47. Okay, so Adam Schefter repeated that, and he put it out on his ESPN Insider account, on his X, everything. That drew, of course, debate from like Mike Florio saying that Schefter was being fed this by his agent. That didn't really happen, that whatever. These dudes fight like teenage girls over, the quarterback, at the school. It's the stupidest stuff I've ever seen, to be honest. It doesn't really matter where he runs. Carnell Tate does not need to run in the 4.4s. He doesn't win with speed. Carnell Tate is not a speed guy. Carnell Tate is a route technician. He's a guy that can stack a defender with his route tree. He can manipulate him. He shimmies, he shakes, he gets open, he's subtle in his movements. He does everything, and then he beats you with contested catches. He beats you over the top. He beats you with his footwork. He doesn't do it. So Mekhi Lemon comes out at his pro day, Steve, and Mekhi Lemon was said to be clocked in the 4.5s, 4.53. And everybody said, well, that's okay. Mekhi Lemon don't beat you with speed. Mekhi Lemon's a yak guy. Mekhi Lemon does this. Mekhi Lemon does that. Well, what does Carnell Tate do? He don't beat you with speed either, so why is it a big problem that he run the same time?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. People are just picking and choosing based off who they like. They're not trying to get to the bottom of who's the best guy in the situation for the Chiefs. They just want to be right fighters. Oh, I like Mekhi Lemon better than Carnell Tate. I'm going to make excuses for him and crap on Tate. Or I like Tate. I'm going to crap on Lemon. That's not what we're in here doing, Steve. We're trying to get to the bottom of who's the best player for the Chiefs. And if they think it's Carnell Tate because of what he does, I don't care that he run a 4.51 at the combine.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice run a 4.8 or something like that. Like, nobody cares.
Right. And if they want Reuben Bain, I don't care that his arms are short.
Exactly.
Like, here's my thing about this kind of stuff. It's like a 4.540 compared to a 4.440 is literally ridiculous to even argue about. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's absolutely absurd. Worrying about a pass rusher that is absolutely and completely dominant and a physical beast, a freak of nature, and you're like, oh, but his arms are a little short. Like, that stuff's just so stupid, dude.
Possibly
so
the best run defender in college. Right. It's not all about just going and getting the quarterback. Like, if you can stop the run, there's a lot of money in that too.
Yeah, dude. I don't understand when people start nitpicking at these guys. I don't get it. It's dumb. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan.
It's the state of the way everybody is. The internet has turned people into just people that have this opinion or they're feeling, and that's the way it is. It's March 15th.
Well, actually, his arms are 30 inches.
The draft is literally not for another month and a half. And we already got people that are like, don't draft him. He's a bust. How do you know he's a bust? He's never played a down, okay? Right. How do you know this guy's better than this guy? Oh, I'd never take him that. It's too high. What are you talking about? You don't know anything. You know what everybody else is telling you to say.
Right.
So just chill.
Let's put a little bow on the Carnell Tate thing, and we can move on and talk about other options because, dude, this draft, the way that Brett Veach attacked free agency, and he might not be done with that just yet, like, he kind of left himself open in this draft to kind of do what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Move up and down the boards, take best player available, do what he's got to do. He's not pigeonholed to one thing. Now, I think if he is right now, Mike, it's probably an edge rusher. I think that's the only thing that he has not addressed. Now, if they were to go out and grab, say, Cam Jordan on a 1 year, then all of a sudden it's wide open. It's just wild.
It is, but I don't think 1 year of Cam Jordan prevents you from getting a nice pass rusher.
Not if Ruben Bain's sitting there, you take him anyway, right? But no, I'm just saying, like, there's nothing he really has to go out and get, but I like it. I like the way we're here. So, but Carnell Tate at number 9, if that's a possibility, if that's what people think, that's cool. I'm not going to argue too much with you. Now, I would say that I think Jordan Tyson's a better route runner than Carnell Tate. I think that Jordan Tyson is potentially a better receiver than Carnell Tate if you could just be fully confident in the medicals, which you just released a short today or yesterday one where you were talking. Was it this morning? So you were talking about how he's essentially been cleared by a lot of the medical staff.
Yeah.
And of course the Chiefs would take a closer look with their guys and everything. But I still think there's a little bit of a question mark surrounding Jordan Tyson. So right now I have Tate above him. But yeah, you guys let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? I'm leaning more towards, I think we've got to get a premium pass rusher early. Like, absolutely. Like, if I could get Ruben Bain at number 9, if he's there for whatever reason at number 9 because his arms are short or whatever, I say you jump on that and then you do your due diligence to get Omar Cooper with your second pick or something like that. I'm leaning more towards that combo. You guys let us know what you think in the chat. Would you go straight for the jugular and get Carnell Tate at number 9? Let us know what you think about it. We have a poll up, so you can vote on that. I'd like to see what you guys think about it and everything. But, Mike, there's lots of other players the Chiefs have been talking to lately. You're telling me about a few today.
Yeah, the Chiefs have been talking to a couple people. Let me bring this up. Let me find it. We actually met at the HBCU game with a fella that is played guard and tackle in college. I thought that was something that we should take a look at. That is, let me find his name. Florida A&M offensive lineman Ashton Grable. I didn't want to get his last name wrong, but it was another Ashton. That was reported by Justin M., works at Sports Illustrated. He was an all-SWAC first team, HBCU's top prospect for 2026. So the Chiefs were definitely looking into some inside guard play. I think that's smart. A guy that can maybe get out and play tackle as well. I think it's smart. Look, we just brought back Caliendo on, a small deal. I remember saying this just last week. I don't remember when it was, but I said that for the $3.5 million that they were going to have to tender him, it would have made sense that Brett Veach says we're not tendering him. He goes and sees what he can get, and then maybe we offer him a vet minimum deal, and that's what ended up happening. So that makes a lot of sense. But I think the Chiefs still got to look at that kind of thing. Another thing is yes, we did meet with Jordan Tyson. We met with Jordan Tyson at the Combine. You mentioned that his medicals checked out at the Combine. They did. It was, quote, said that NFL doctors found no long-term structural concerns in his knee and that his hamstring was actually good. They were just going to wait till his pro day, which is, I think, is coming up on like the 25th or something. So they didn't want to tweak it there. We also learned that the Chiefs were in Kentucky just a few days ago at the UK Pro Day, and they were looking at David Gusta. So they really like him, the defensive lineman. That dude set the Combine on fire the other day with some incredible kinds of numbers coming out for David Gusta. I want to say he ended up getting a 4.88 40 at 308 pounds. A 1.68 10-yard split. So there's something to that. And then also they were in Arkansas. They were well represented at Arkansas's pro day. They were looking at Mike Washington, and they were looking at Julian Neal Corner. So the Chiefs have been all over the map. They're doing their due diligence, and I like it. I seen in the chat somebody said, Mike, you just said you just said Mekhi Lemon last week could have draft bust all over him. Absolutely. Any of these guys could be draft bust. I think that goes back to what I was trying to say. We're 6 weeks out. Nobody knows who's good and who's bad at this point just now. But I'll say, Steve, don't you kind of agree with me? Mekhi Lemon seems like he could be a great pick, but he's got so many different skill sets, and the way he acted at that Combine, he could definitely be a draft bust. He could turn into something crazy.
I think it's mainly just character concerns with him. Like, if I just watch his tape and I see what he does, I'm sure he could be a bust, but I don't see it with his skill set. I think it's mainly character concerns with Mekhi Lemon.
You don't think there's nothing about his game that could turn into a bust? Like, he's a guy that don't wins with speed. He's already been clocked out over a 4.5. And then they say, well, he doesn't win like that. That's absolutely true. But you're going to face bigger, faster, stronger athletes in the NFL. You may not be able to come in there and bully ball them like that.
He doesn't really bully ball anybody. I think he's a smooth route runner, and his start and stop ability is elite. There's not many people I've seen be able to start and stop like him. Like, and here's the thing: I saw someone in the chat say he was another Kadarius Toney. Maybe if you want to go by that like quick twitchy ability, you could kind of get that comparison, but he's a different level of receiver to me. I think mainly with him, it's just, is he all there? I'm not for sure. Real quick, I want to get to this, Mike, and we'll get right back to what we're talking about. But Greg Goodwin, been a member for 21 months, says, who can we legitimately get as our QB2? Won't spend too much time on that, Greg, but appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for being a member for 21 freaking months. Mike, I think the most natural fit for me right now, if you don't just find like a really good vet guy, it's probably Sam Howell. Like that would probably be where I looked. Veteran wise, I mean, I don't know did Mariota go anywhere?
Yeah, he already signed.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Back to the Commanders. Dude, I found a clip yesterday where we were talking on a it was a live stream, I believe, the other day, and we were making fun of it. We were like, he's probably just going to get signed by the Commanders. They're throwing out contracts to everybody. And literally since that live stream, they have signed like 45 people. Like, I don't know what the Commanders have decided they're doing. They've offered a contract to every single person in free agency.
They do this a lot now. I feel like they're always big players in free agency.
Is it really working out for them, though, or not really?
Yeah, not really. They had that one year where they got to the NFC Championship. That was about it, but their team was stacked up pretty good. But yeah, I'm not real sure about that one, Greg, but I think they definitely need to do something there. I'm not exactly comfortable with Chris Oladokin and Jake Haener at all. So yeah, they got to figure something out there. But let's get back to the receiver talk, Mike. You're mentioning just bust in general, and I'm with you. I think any of these guys could be a bust. Like,
absolutely.
Just pick anybody in the entire draft. You can even pick the 3 blue chippers. You could pick Jeremiah Love. You could pick Caleb Downs. You could pick Reuben Bain. All of them could be a bust.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody could be. Or they could be the best player ever. Like, you don't know. I mean, all you got to go by is, like, your eyes and the tape that you watch. And a lot of people don't watch tape, Mike. A lot of people go to YouTube and they type in Makai Lemon highlights. Well, guess what you're going to see? All the best plays by Makai Lemon. You're never going to see any of the downsides of Makai Lemon.
Anything he does wrong.
Right. And if you just go watch actual games, and normally that's how I like to evaluate, is like, I'll go watch highlights here and there just because I want to see, like, what do you do at your best? Like, you know, what's the top of your game? Like, what do you have to offer? But then I like to pick out, and you know, we don't really have time to just sit and watch every game of every player.
No, I try to watch 3 games.
I watch sometimes 2, and sometimes if I really feel confident about a player, I'll just watch 1 game. But I like to make sure it's like a competitive game. I don't want to watch a game where their school plays Division II school and blows them out. Like, I don't want to see that. I want
Alabama versus McNeese State.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that.
I want to watch that.
Normally I watch like a competitive game and just see what the guy has to offer. And that's the thing with these receivers, since we're talking about receivers, I think I got it Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon right now. And then I got Omar Cooper Jr. at 4.
Hey, Brenda, how are you?
I think that's the way that I have that lined up. I don't know about you. What do you have?
Wide receivers, I've put Carnell Tate at number 1. I've got Makai Lemon at 2. I've got Cooper at 3, and I got Tyson at 4. But I'm so close to just putting Tyson back up where he belongs because I feel like those.
I have Tyson at 2.
Yeah, I feel like the medicals, he belongs right back up there at 1 or 2. I'm confident in these medicals.
Me too. And here's the thing. I feel like if I was 100% confident in the medicals,
he's number 1 by
he's the best
a wide
receiver.
Margin.
I think so too, but there's a big history of injuries with that guy, so it's just very scary.
Yeah, like you can't put that away. Like, he has been injured a lot, right?
Right. Well, let's talk about a few more receivers. I saw where our boy Mickey in the chat. Do you have me with the helmet on as your profile picture? The goofy one that Flapjack made?
No way.
What did you do this to me for?
Dude,
Flapjack,
that's the
damn
grossest
you.
picture. Steve, why does it look like you're wearing like the thing over your head, over your helmet, because it's so big?
Look like Romeo Dobbs out here.
Yeah, you look like Romeo Dobbs' blown up head, bro.
Let's go. So, Mickey, we actually talked about Chris Bell quite extensively on a recent stream. Someone brought him up. God, why does you look like a weird Aaron Rodgers, and my head looks really squat. No, but we talked about Chris Bell. Chris Bell's huge. He's a big dude. He runs extremely fast for his size. Contested catch machine. He actually has pretty good yak ability. There's a lot to like about Chris Bell, but he's also got some medical things. I think he just tore his knee up last season, so he'll be coming back off of an ACL injury, which means he might not even play the first half of the season. You could potentially, if you drafted Chris Bell, be in a Jalen Royal situation where you don't get to see him play his rookie season. Yeah. So it's iffy, but I do like Chris Bell. I do think that he offers you a lot. He's a cool prospect, but I can't have him up like super high. Mike, I think I'm right there with you as far as like my guy here on this channel is obviously Omar Cooper Jr. And it's been that way for, quite some time now. Now his popularity just blew up through the roof in the last, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people have him in the back end of the first round now. We were talking about at one point getting him in like pick 40, and now it's like you might not be able to get him at 29 because everybody's obsessed with this dude with good reason. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I feel like there are some other receivers down through the draft that are intriguing. Chris Bell's one because I think because of his medicals, you could probably get a really good value on Chris Bell. And then also another one is Teddy Hurst. I like him. There's a few other guys, and they're not coming to me right now, but that I think could be good value picks. So I don't know. I'm just I'll be honest with you. I would like to see the Chiefs draft a receiver, but this might be of all years where I just don't care if they draft one or not. But I think they do need to address that wide receiver room somehow.
Yeah, I agree. I've been rearranging wide receivers. That's been one thing I've been messing with for a little while. And I try to get them, as good as I can get them. Let me give you what I've got right now for like the top 10, and you tell me if you agree or you disagree here. Because I'm very curious. This is what I've settled on. I've settled on Carnell Tate as 1 right now. Mekhi Lemon is 2, Omar Cooper at 3, and Jordan Tyson as 4. That's your big 4. But again, the more I'm thinking about this Tyson stuff,
Tyson to me goes to number 2, and then we're on the same page.
Here's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on his pro day. His pro day is going to be here in about 10 days. I want to see how he looks at the pro day. If he comes out and he's still hobbling around over that hamstring, or he tweaks it again, or anything like that, then I'm just going to say this dude's made of glass and I'm dropping him. Right? But if he's had all this time and he gets it under there and he looks really good, he looks healthy, he looks good to go, and the doctors and everybody have said he's fine, I want to see if the Chiefs are serious about Jordan Tyson at any point, they're going to schedule a top 30, let those team doctors look at him. If you don't hear a top 30 with Jordan Tyson, I don't think they're considering him. Do you agree with that?
I would think so.
I don't think that they're just going to take the NFL doctors' words for it. They would want their own team doctors to look at him. So if they don't have that top 30 with Jordan Tyson, I don't think they're considering it. So, but right now, that's my top 4.
Now, if he fell because of medicals and you could get really good value on him, I could see them doing
right, if he was to fall. That's my upper class. So that's my tier 1. My tier 2 is Denzel Boston at 5, KC Concepcion at 6. And then I've moved Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazzell, and Zach Branch in the tier 2.
I like Zach Branch.
I really like them as well. Tier 3 is you're getting a value on Chris Bell. He should be in tier 2, but Chris Bell's now a tier 3 guy. Okay. Then I've got Ted Hurst and Malachi Field. So I've got about 2 or 3 little X receivers in there. And I've actually come up on a guy from Ole Miss, 6'2", 207. Dijon Stribling. I really like some of the film I've watched of him. I have now moved him above Elijah Surratt. And then Bryce Lance rounds out my top 15. That's where I'm sitting. I think that's pretty fair. I think I'm a little bigger on, say, Jeremy Bernard than a lot of people. And I think I'm down on Ted Hurst more than a lot of people. I think that's the big difference with my rankings and some other people's rankings.
Well, Ted Hurst is just going to be a contested catch monster. right? And I mean, I don't think that the Chiefs don't
He
normally go
did
for
show
those
some
type
speed on
dudes.
film. I will say he did show some speed. I was rather impressed. I thought I was with you. I thought he was just going to be more like a jump ball merchant, somebody like that. But he did impress. If you go back and watch his game versus Vanderbilt, he actually looked pretty good versus a good SEC school. So I could see why people are putting him around top 10. I just couldn't squeeze him into my top 10. For me, he's at number 11. So I think I'm fair putting him right outside the top 10. A lot of people would argue me and say, look, Jeremy Bernard shouldn't be 7. He shouldn't be above Chris Brazzell. Zach Branch is too little. We don't need another guy in the top 10. It's not about that. It's about how I think he could do in the NFL, not necessarily just the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, for sure. Let's get through the chat a little bit, just see what everybody's talking about. I see where Calhoun keeps saying that Jeremy Bernard. I know you love Bernard, Mike. I also think that he could be a really good a pick for somebody in that range there in like the second round. I feel like you might be able to get pretty good value on him. I see where a couple guys have talked about how they'd like to get Caleb Downs. I think if Caleb Downs is at 9, I don't care if you need a safety or not. Like that's a blue chipper at number 9. It's top 3 guy in the draft. So I feel like that's a possibility. Let's see here. I also saw, I can't find it now. Okay, yeah. So all this data, and we still have no clue. That was the point that Mike was trying to make earlier. Like everything about, and that's what makes the draft so intriguing and draft coverage so intriguing, because you're literally like, it's a guessing game somewhat. It is. You can watch all the tape that you want. You can see this guy work out. You can measure him all you want. It's still, sometimes there's something that you can't measure, and that's just like the it factor. Like, is this dude it or not? Like, there's several guys that, I mean, look at Tom Brady, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could watch all the tape you wanted of him at Michigan.
Right. You didn't think he was going to translate.
You're going to look at that guy. You're going to laugh. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's really hard to pick, but I think you take what data you have and you try to make it make the most sense. And then me and Mike also like to really dig into the Chiefs side of it and the Chiefs staff side of it and see what they like, who they're talking to, get as much information as we can, and then kind of pair that together and try to figure out what they're doing. I think that's the fun part about the draft thing. Mr. Andrew says Avion Terrell over Pons, though. 110%. That's not even a contest. But Pons is a beast. But Pons would be more in that 40 to 60 range. Avion Terrell should go in the first round. Jaron says Avion's just like McDuffie. I've been saying that. I think Avion Terrell's like if you wanted to. I think the quote that I said was like, if you could take a bunch of mad scientists into the lab and create a McDuffie 2.0, you'd probably come up with something like Avion Terrell. Like, he's pretty close to McDuffie. Mike Jake says Stribling looks very athletic. I have not watched a whole lot of his tape, so I might have to check him out and see what you're talking about.
I just started watching him the other day. He was one of the only few I hadn't got to, and he actually impressed me.
Yeah, Mickey Moonrock says, what about Surratt? Mike, you just said you had him. Did you get knocked? Okay. I knew he was almost there at the bottom of your list there. Surratt's like, he's an interesting one because Omar Cooper Jr. looks like he might translate to the NFL better. And I think we can both agree that Omar Cooper's the more intriguing guy from Indiana. But I think Surratt has this weird, I get this weird feeling with Surratt that he could be kind of like a Puka Nacua type thing where it's like people overlook him. And there's, we're looking at all these other flashier receivers, and then maybe Surratt might be that steady hand. Maybe he might be the one that comes in and does a lot of work in the NFL. I mean, it's a possibility. He's a good receiver. Tate at 9 is too high, says Joe E. I think any receiver at 9 is gambling, pretty heavily, especially if there's a good defensive end there. I think you almost have to go edge. Mike, Mr. Andrew also says Zakee Wheatley at like 104 or something. I know you like Zakee Wheatley, okay, don't you?
Yeah, he's my number 5 right now. So I've got him just below, obviously, Downs, Thieneman, McNeil Warren, and Genesis Smith's my top 4. Zakee Wheatley's number 5 for me.
Yep.
I think he's more of like a center fielder kind of guy, which is what we need. That's kind of what Brian Cook did, right? He kind of played that center fielder role as Justin Reed would get in the box and do stuff like that, right?
Which Brian Cook would have been better getting in the box and doing things like that. I think
He probably
I think that's
would've.
why he looked so good at the end of last year, because that's what he was doing.
Right.
But our boy Peter Ortiz in the house says they're just human. That's right, man. These guys are all just human. There's so many things that you don't know about these people that plays a huge part into how they're going to turn out in the NFL. And you have no idea. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned Surratt for the fellow that brought that up. Can I tell you why I didn't have Surratt as high as some people do?
Sure. If you feel the need.
Here's what I thought at his size. So he's going to be like your proto X, 6'2", 210. He's not the biggest one, though. Denzel Boston weighs a little more than him. Chris Bell's over 10 pounds heavier. Josh Cameron from Baylor's over 10 pounds heavier. And both of those guys were more explosive. So when I seen an X, I didn't see like even a Justin Watson. I didn't see an MVS. I didn't see a Pickens. So I seen an X receiver that's just kind of slower. He doesn't have great acceleration, and he doesn't have top speed to take the top off the defense. I thought his route tree was a little weird. They didn't have him cutting in and out. He didn't do a lot of breaking routes there. He just kind of run in a straight line, or he curled a lot. He would round things off a little bit. I didn't see him be able to create a lot of consistent separation. I didn't see him come down with contested catches versus better teams. And when he got the ball in his hands, he literally either ran through you or he wasn't doing anything. He had no movement. He couldn't beat you. And then last but not least, I don't think he has any special teams experience. And when you play for the Chiefs, if you're going to come on as wide receiver 5 or 6, you're going to have to play special teams. And he don't have that. So for me, I could not feasibly put Surratt in the top 10. I don't think he offers anything that would help our offense in the way it's designed.
Let's go, baby. Now that you're done talking mad trash about Elijah Surratt.
I like Elijah Surratt.
Yeah, sure.
With all that said and done, he's number
Sure
14.
you do.
He's number 14 out of 50, right? So, I mean.
Mike, I want to shout out TGZ. He gifted not one, but
Sorry,
2 memberships. Let's freaking go. If you guys
Appreciate you,
got
brother.
those, make sure to thank TGZ in the chat. And we appreciate you, my man. Thanks for the support. Mike, we also have Jake Cruz in the chat with a 2-bomb. Thanks for the support, Jay. You guys are freaking awesome. Real quick, guys, just want to thank everybody for being here. 526, 530 of you in the chat right now. Make sure to do your boys a favor. Hit that like button. Get in here and talk to us. If you haven't commented, comment. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because what the hell are you waiting for? Go do that. YouTube keeps telling us that you guys are watching, not subscribing. Let's watch and subscribe. Why the heck not? But, yeah, man. What else?
Those two things, can they go hand in hand?
Can they?
you actually watch a channel and be subscribed to it?
Peter says, wow, I'm glad you like him, Mike.
Love him.
Love him.
Hey, I'm sure he's a good guy.
Kelso says that we're carrying Chiefs YouTube. Let's go, baby. We're trying. We're doing our best. Gets heavy sometimes, but we're working on it. So I saw someone in the chat, and if I could find it, I would bring it up right now. There's two things I want to talk about. And we'll start with this one because I think the other one might garner more of a conversation. So number one, someone asked, with Caleb Banks and the recent discovery of his foot and all that, how far do you think he drops, and do you think it's feasible that the Chiefs might take a shot on him?
Absolutely. Caleb Banks he got our first top 30 visit. And more than likely what they wanted to look at is the foot okay? He broke it at the combine. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how bad it's cracked. I'm never going to know. I'm not going to be, there's those things where I'm not allowed to look at people's medical records. So,
HIPAA or something like that?
I don't have the HIPAA forms there filled out for Caleb Banks. Maybe his mom does. I don't know. But look, I think he's good. Right now, he's my number 3. I've got Christian Miller right above Peter Woods, and that's a slight one. And only because I think Christian Miller has got enough explosiveness at 321 and Peter Woods is just sub 300. And it's just nitpicking right in there. But I've got Caleb Banks at number 3 right now. He had an elite hand size, almost 11-inch hands. He had elite arm length at 35-inch arms. Only Darrell Jackson out of Florida was bigger, tied with him. And then he had elite wingspan. He had the biggest wingspan by far. He was 5 inches from finger to finger, bear hugging, 5 inches more than the next guy, which was literally Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech. 85 3/4 inch wingspan. He had a broad jump of over 11 feet. He's explosive, Steve. And when I watch Caleb Banks on film, it doesn't wow you. Like, his stats over the last few years haven't been like overly like crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's coming out and putting up 20 sacks a year or anything like that. Like, there's been not a lot there, right? I think for 47 or what was it? 3 seasons with Florida, 47 total tackles. That's it. 9.5 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. He's got a couple forced fumbles and some fumble recoveries and 1 batted pass. Nothing crazy, but go look at Chris Jones in college at Mississippi State. He didn't have nothing. And look, I think this kid is full of himself. He says that he's going to be better than Chris Jones. He says he looks up to Chris Jones, but he's going to be better as a pro. And Chris Jones actually come out and said, keep trying. Look, I think it's funny. I think when you get guys like that really want to be the best and they want to push people and they want Chris Jones to come at them and talk to them and this and that, I think it's good for the sport, man. Steve, you know, when we goofed around in high school, who was the better players? It was the ones that just wanted to be a little cocky about it and would go out and try to, you know, prove who's the biggest best. Like, I don't want humble people in certain positions. I just don't. I want people that's going to be a monster.
You're still talking about Caleb Banks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my thing with him is I feel like he's very much projection. Like, I feel like they look at what
he is projection, 100%.
Like what he could be because of, you know, the measurables and his athletic ability.
Right.
So I think with him and the fact that he did everything he did at the combine on a broken foot is pretty wild too. So like all that high testing he did with a broken foot. So, but yeah, it's like it's ceiling for him. Now, if Caleb Banks were to drop quite a bit because of said foot injury, then I could see the Chiefs taking a stab at him. Absolutely. I don't think I have him as my top defensive tackler or anything like that by any means, but I do think he is probably top 4. He's got to be around.
Yeah, he was my number
4.
3.
So I don't know, man. I think he's very good. Like a lot of promise there, but like you said, it's not like he's had a lot of production or anything.
No.
So it's kind of hard to tell with him. He's definitely a bit risky. Can I pet that dog with a 2-bomb? Says Taekwon will have over 700 yards this year. Book it.
I wish.
If they give him the opportunities, I think he could. I mean, he had 300 yards last year right at it, and he only got to, for all intents and purposes, play like, what, 2 or 3 games? 4?
Dude, he was out as soon as Rashee Rice come back. He didn't get to play anymore. So, like, what, week 7?
Yeah.
He basically just stopped playing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Rochelle. She might have got put in timeout for spamming. But she was asking, what about Brennan Thompson, Mike?
Right. Brennan Thompson, he's I don't think Brennan Thompson is going to be all that great in the NFL. He's smaller, I'm pretty sure, than Xavier Worthy. He's 5'9", 160, maybe 164. He's pigeonholed to the slot. He did run fast.
He's the John Ross.
Yeah, he run a 4.26.
Right?
He was a 100-meter sprinter in high school and in maybe college too, but I just think his frame's too small. I think he's pigeonholed to the slot. I don't even think he worked in the kick return game that much, even though he was that fast, because they just couldn't basically rely on him to be healthy. I thought his route running looked pretty lazy sometimes. For him to be so fast, I thought it was just kind of lazy. He had 500 yards and 27 catches this year for 4 touchdowns. And that was his breakout year.
He's like somebody that could be intriguing if you could get him really late, you know, like a good value. What was the kid's name from a couple of drafts ago? I want to say it was like Golden, Anthony Golden or something
Matt
like
Golden
that.
last year?
No. This was the kid from, I think he played at like
Anthony Gold played for Oregon State.
Gold. Yeah. Like, that's what he reminds me of. Like, he's like really fast and like can do a lot of things, but he's small, he's undersized, and he might be somebody you could take a shot on late in the draft to see if you could do anything with him. But I don't see it being like, I don't know. I'm kind of think that's definitely one of those guys that's just all speed to me. Like, he doesn't look like a great receiver.
And I said that wrong. His 27 catches for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns was what he had in the previous 3 years before he had his breakout year this year. So, in other words, he's only had 1 year of solid production. That's a red flag for me. when I'm picking first round talent, second round talent, they better have
Yeah.
multiple years of solid production for me, because anybody can get lucky for a year, right?
For sure. Got Covey in the chat with the 5 bombs. Says, what do y'all think of Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska? I think he's going to be a sleeper back for someone. So Emmett Johnson's an intriguing one for me, Mike, because I think like when I saw him at the combine, he doesn't impress me a whole lot. Like he doesn't do anything.
He had a tough combine.
Yeah, tough combine. He's not particularly fast. He's not particularly shifty. He's not particularly a good receiving back. But damn, his production. Brother.
Well, he fell into that same hole I just said. He had
so,
1 year of good production this year, and before that, he's had nothing.
It's so hard to overlook what he did, though. Like, and sometimes, like I said, it's not all about those measurables. It's not about the combine. It's just about, does this guy have it or not? He might have it. So I don't really know what to think about him, Covey. I kind of dropped him a little bit in my rankings after the combine and everything.
Same.
And I think a lot of people did that. A lot of people were projecting him as a second rounder. Now I've seen him as late as 4, if not later.
I've got him I've got him in a 4th round pick now. That's where I'm valuing him.
But I will say this, like if you watch his game tape and you watch what he was able to do this last season, you might get a hell of a back at round 4.
Yeah.
He could absolutely be a sleeper per se. I wouldn't exactly call him a sleeper because I think he's on everybody's radar. But I think they might be overlooking him a little bit right now. It's a possibility. I'm not saying they are, but because I see all the drawbacks too. But maybe you're right, man. Appreciate the 5 though.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. I think for Emmett Johnson to be like somebody that I would really want to consider, I think he had to show better in his 40 or his 10-yard split one, because when I watched his film, believe it or not, I didn't think he had breakaway speed. And in the NFL, people are just getting bigger, faster, stronger, right? And I just didn't see it. And that's what scares me about him a little bit. And again, he didn't have more than 1 year of solid production. Like, I want to see multiple years of that, and we only have that last year. So I'm just a little on the fence with him. But I think in the 4th round, he'd be a hell of a pick, and he probably contributes.
Absolutely. There's been several times where I thought if the Chiefs were to take like a 3rd, 4th round running back, he might have been it, But now that they've kind of gone a different direction with that, not real sure. I think somebody will get a good one though. Peter Ortiz with the 10 bomb. Let's go, Peter.
Peter, let's go, baby.
He says, okay, since players are just humans and break easily, let's take it easy on Veach if someone doesn't work out.
Steve, we were talking about this today over dinner.
Yeah, we absolutely were.
People were talking about how we shouldn't draft Jordan Tyson. He's been injured. Absolutely, he has been. But, Steve, we drafted just this past year, we drafted Jalen Royals. This dude couldn't take a Tylenol and missed the entire year.
Yep.
Okay. Josh Simmons didn't even have an injury. He just missed games because of life. Omar Norman Lott blows his knee out. He's gone for a year. You want to go back? Xavier Worthy. We drafted him. He missed a few games. He should have missed all the games last year, but he played injured. But still, he's been injured his entire career, basically. Week in and week out, there's always an injury.
Right.
There's so many different players, and it's like you can't do this. Like, here's the way the draft works. Everybody's supposed to get 1 pick in every round, right? It's supposed to be about 7 picks. Now, I know they get traded and this and that. But out of those 7 picks, every year in and year out, you may have 1 solid starter that'll come out of that. And if you hit more than that, you've done a good job. A lot of them's going to not even make the team in 5 years and be oblivious to the NFL. Right or wrong? And how many of these guys actually, like, you can't draft feasibly people and think you're going to hit on every pick or think that all these picks are going to be healthy. It's just not going to happen. Like, like Brett Veach is going to have a hell of a draft this year if 2 guys turn out to be starters in 3 years. That's just the way it works, man.
Yeah, dude. It's it's tough.
And like, even the most healthy can be injured. That's the game we play.
And appreciate the 10, Peter. But, like, I think just overall, what happens is you see, like, a draft class, like, what was it, 2022, where Brett Veach just absolutely knocked it out of the park. And they expect him to do that every time. And, like, I think that one draft right there just shows you how good Brett Veach is. I mean, honestly. Because
how much they just got paid.
Yeah, the chances of hitting on all those dudes like that took some work, man.
Yeah.
And some of it could be luck. I mean, absolutely. The same way you have bad luck, you have good luck. But yeah, man, I think Brett Veach does a pretty good job and does his due diligence on checking these guys
But
out.
just to even show you that it's kind of a shot in the dark or a coin toss or a throwing a dart at a dartboard, go back and look at 2022. If Brett Veach was perfect and if everybody was perfect, you wouldn't have taken Jalen Watson in round 7 and Josh Williams in round 4. That would have been alternated. Yeah. So look at how many people let Jalen Watson get to the 7th. And then look how many people, you know what I mean? Like, if you really knew how it was going to work, Puka Nacua is not lasting to round 5. It's just the way it is. Like, it's a lot of luck. And that's why, like a lot of people's like, let's just trade back and take more shots. I fully understand. If you get 15 picks, your odds of hitting better players are there for sure. But that's just a lot of chances.
Right. Hear that train rolling in, baby. Our boy Peter Ortiz with 10 gifted freaking memberships. Let's go, Peter. Sharing the wealth out there. Got some new members of the ACU crew, Mike. How about it?
Let's go. That's what I like to see.
Who even are they? Let's check this out. Let's see if I can find it. I'll tell you. Welcome to the crew. Mercalicious. Not Funny. Roar of the Lions. Mike. Jordan W. Red 777777. Trey. Soldier of Christ. And Empowered. Let's freaking go. Welcome to the crew. Peter, you the man, brother. Thanks for the support. Mike, we got a 2 from Slammin' Sammy. I said Salmon Slammy.
Salmon Slam.
Slammin' Sammy with the 2. Tyson Medical coming back clean. He might be number 1 wide receiver. That's where I'm at. Like, if he was 100% clean and I was not worried about the injury history, he would be my number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
He is the best one out of this crew, this class. But with the question marks floating around his head, I have to go Carnell Tate. So I have him at 2. Mike, you had him down to 4. I still can't find it in me to put
him at 4, but I really want to move him back.
I can maybe put him at 3. I can maybe give Mekhi Lemon the benefit of the doubt there, but he has question marks around his head for me too. So I still think Omar Cooper Jr. is the number 4 in this class.
Right. Me putting Tyson at 4 is not nothing against Tyson. It's every bit of the fact that even with him coming back with a clean bill of health, he's still shown that he finds a new way to get injured. So even if these are fine, next week he breaks his toe. The week after that, he stumps his finger, or he breaks a fingernail at this point. He's got to get a little tougher, and that's just the way it is. And in the NFL, you're going to play through injuries, and you just have to do it. And I'll give Xavier Worthy credit. He's done that. He's been injured a lot, but he has, for his size, been a tough dude. And so I'll give him that. But Jordan Tyson at 4 for me, I want to put him back up to 2, and I probably will eventually get him back up to 2 or 3. But it's more for me wanting to give credit to Omar Cooper Jr. because he's a hell of a football player, and he's just now starting to get all of his flowers.
Can I ask you a question?
He's just now getting them.
I want to throw this out there. Appreciate the 2, Sammy.
Yeah, appreciate you.
I'm going to throw this one out there because I think that maybe some other people would want to know the answer to this. If the Chiefs were to say, get Reuben Bain at number 9, say he dropped and he's there, and it's like you can't pass him up. So you get your edge rusher at number 9. If you get to pick 29 and your thought process was we could get a receiver here and you had Jordan Tyson and Omar Cooper available, what do you do?
I think I'm going to take Jordan Tyson.
I think so too. And I love Omar Cooper.
I love him too, but at 29, a lot of people say you can't afford to miss at 29, and you probably shouldn't. But to me, that's kind of a free pick. Now, I do know we give up Trent McDuffie to do it.
Don't you feel like if he's healthy,
you're getting a guy with such a high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting essentially what should be a top 10 pick. And I see Justin Jefferson in that kid so much.
There's a little bit
he
there.
has got so much about him. If you watch Justin Jefferson back at LSU, you see a lot of it. He's a savvy route runner. Look, the Chiefs need route runners that can beat man-to-man coverage.
He's the best route runner in this draft. That's why,
That's why Tate and him are 2 good ones. I don't think Omar Cooper Jr. beats man-to-man coverage as much. He's just more of a Rasheed Rice kind of guy that can beat you to death.
Cooper. Love Omar Cooper, but I feel like that's 2 different tiers of guys.
Oh, yeah, I think so too. And look, I've put Omar Cooper Jr. in the top tier, but it's not. Look, it's a lot of it just Tyson. It's just that injury history. If he does not have any injuries at this point, he's number 1 by a mile.
I think so too, dude. I think so too. I closed the poll. The poll was, would you spend pick number 9 overall on Carnell Tate? Mike, 311 votes, 71% said yes.
Said yes.
So 71% out of 300 plus of you all
Yeah.
think that you would be okay, you would be comfortable spending number 9 overall on Carnell Tate.
Would you be? I think I'd be fine with it.
It depends on what was there. If Bain fell or something like that and they
Right.
took Carnell Tate, I'd be like, I don't know what you're doing.
I think there's two
But-
guys there, Bain and Bailey. If you chose him over those two, I'd be a little irritated.
Or
Anybody
Caleb
else-
Downs.
Yeah, maybe Caleb Downs as well. If you take those three out of it, look, Love's off the board. We can't afford to pay $60 million for two running backs.
It
You
doesn't
can't
matter.
do
He's
it.
not going to be there at 9. That's
Right.
wild.
But point is, if he did fall, I wouldn't even be that upset there either. So it's really Bain, Bailey, and Caleb Downs. Not even Sonny Styles.
if you
Look,
think
I'm
Carnell
not
Tate,
going to spend a linebacker that early
right?
either.
I think that if you think Carnell Tate's the outright number 1 receiver in this draft class, then sure, take him at 9.
Right.
If there's not a Reuben Bain sitting around, because if you pass up David Bailey or Reuben Bain or Caleb Downs, then I'm going to scratch my head a little bit. But Carnell Tate would be okay with me at 9 if all those were off the board. But you still have to turn around and address edge rusher. I mean, that's the main thing to me. It's like I said earlier, if they were to do a 1-year deal with old Papal Cam Jordan, he had 10.5 sacks last year. I would still feel better. Like, okay, well, you don't have to attack the edge rusher because, I mean, you have Jordan who could day one starting productive edge rusher. You got Ashton Gelati who was coming on. Like, I can be okay with that. But if you don't do something like that, then I feel like you have to. Brett Veach said it out of his own mouth, Mike, and you brought this up multiple times. He said top 40 is where you get your edge rusher. After that, there's none left.
Oh, there's nothing. He's tipped his hand.
Yeah.
Brett Veach tipped his hand here. And even by not signing a pass rusher yet, I think he's proven now that pass rusher is something we're targeting.
Can I bring something up, though?
Yeah, what you got?
He last year at this juncture when he started talking about the draft, he blew smoke.
Yeah, what'd he say?
So, I mean, is he blowing smoke about the edge rusher thing? Because the main thing that he
But
talked
if you
about,
felt like he's blowing smoke, wouldn't he be trying to sign one in the offseason? Because we got to have a pass rusher.
I don't know. But that's exactly what happened last time. He went to the combine. He started talking about these guys, and he was like, there are great middle linebackers in this class. Like, they are excellent. Like, they're so good.
Yeah, like he may believe we were taking a middle linebacker in the first round.
I'm not saying that he was taking him first round, but this is a deep class with linebacker. I really love a lot of these guys. And he turned around and signed Nick Bolton to a massive contract.
Yeah.
So maybe he's using the same strategy this year for whatever reason.
He's mentioned linebacker this year too, hasn't he?
But he really pointed it out last season, and then he signed Nick Bolton. And then he really pointed out this edge rusher thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's using that same tactic or if it
You
even
think he's
has.
working? You think it's maybe like a thing like, hey, the Chiefs say this is whatever, maybe they'll trade down or trade up. It makes us candidates to be trade targets.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Brett Veach is always playing chess, and there might be some rhyme or reason to what he says, other than just taking it at face value. Because he's been known to try to, steer people in different directions, and I think that's a smart thing to do. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting draft. We'll be doing our first. We normally do 3 of these. I'll tell you how we normally do it. If you're new to the channel, or if you just didn't pay much attention to draft stuff last year, we'll come out with an initial mock draft, a Chiefs mock draft, what we think that the Chiefs are going to do. And we'll tell you who they're drafting, right? We'll come out with that initially. We'll normally, a couple weeks after that, we'll tweak it a little bit and have version 2. And then we'll have a final one. And what we do is try to really get in the brain of Brett Veach and his staff and try to figure out what the Chiefs are going to do. And I mean, here's the thing. And some of you guys that have been here for a long time, y'all can vouch for us. We're pretty good. Like, I feel like we have a pretty good track record. We normally hit at least a few players almost every year, like a couple at least.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So we can kind of get our finger on the pulse a little bit, and I'm hoping that we can continue to do that this year. And but just keep a lookout for that. We'll be doing that very soon, putting out our first one. It might be our next live stream.
Yeah, it could
potentially.
be Thursday.
Or we might even do an extra one. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll be coming out with that soon. We're actually discussing that at dinner today too. Like we need to go ahead and do our first one and how we wanted to attack that, trying to get into, the Chiefs' big brains and figure out what they want to do. So be on the lookout for that because that's always fun.
Dude, trying to put yourself in the body and mind of Brett Veach, that's a mental F right there. Like I haven't slept for 3 days.
Well, you have to
trying
consider
do
a
this.
lot of things because it's like there's so many dynamics to it. Because Brett Veach, everybody says, "Oh, Veach drafted this, Veach did that, Veach
Right.
this." Veach has the overall say, but like Veach has an entire staff that scouts these dudes.
Regional scouts that'll
It
come
tells
and
him
fight for position
everything.
groups. Yeah.
He has the people crunching the numbers. He has the people doing everything. Then on top of that, he's got Andy Reid over here and all the coaches and who they like and who they might want.
Who they prefer.
And then you also, just like any other job, you're trying to appease your boss. So he's trying to make sure he makes Clark happy as well. So it's like,
So the fact that we could even hit one guy out of 600 potential at that exact spot is insane.
yeah, and we've done pretty good. So yeah, be on the lookout for it. I hope we can continue to do some cool things with that because I mean we've been pretty good so far. It could just be luck so far, but we'll see this year. See if we can't nail a few down for you. Try to give you a little bit of info. Fred, been a member for 6 months now, says sorry I'm late today. Better late than never, Fred. Good to see you, buddy.
Fred, baby.
I hope you're doing well. You can always go back and watch it, man. No big deal. Flapjack, our boy in the house with the 10 bomb. Flapjack, did you see that Mickey Moonrock has made his profile picture the weird picture of me in a football helmet? Look what you did. Look what you did to me, Flapjack. Why?
Hey, I wish I could keep this graphic up and our mouths were cut out so we could just talk in the mouths like we're, you know
Mike,
what I mean?
you just look like Aaron Rodgers is going to be our backup quarterback.
Yeah, I just look like a really creepy Aaron Rodgers with like HIV or something.
That's strange. But Aaron,
just
Aaron
looks
Rodgers
really
kind of looks
weird.
like he might have it. So I mean, you're kind of spot on.
What did he get at that darkness retreat?
Yeah, he went to a crazy retreat. Flapjack with the 10 says, "Say we draft a wide receiver at 1, are we ever going to pay that guy down the road? Under the Veach era, there hasn't been a number 1 wide receiver. Hill can't count. John Dorsey drafted him. We don't pay wide receiver or cornerback." This is 100% true, Flapjack. And this could kind of be the same situation as McDuffie, right? Because I had been saying, like, if they were to sign a cornerback long-term, it would be McDuffie because they spent a lot of draft capital on him. They traded up in the draft to get him. He had been a top 3 cornerback statistically for the last 4 years. So he could be the one, and they still didn't.
But
So-
they almost got back exactly what they put into him. They almost broke even or got better than what they paid for him, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
It was pretty close.
thing about it is, and something that you like to quote a lot is the Tiger don't change their stripes very much.
That's true.
So, I mean, you might be right, Flapjack. I think even if they were to draft a guy, well, I mean, let's see what they do with the Xavier Worthy, I suppose. That kind of give you an
He
idea.
ain't looking like he needs a second contract.
Right.
Like he better pick it up this year. But this is exactly why, Steve, though, I think they could take one. You get a wide receiver with like literally, okay, let's just say Carnell Tate. A lot of NFL GMs, Steve, have said he's the number 1 receiver in this draft. That's all you were hearing all over the combine is that they
Right.
believe he's number 1. You get a number 1 wide receiver for 5 years on a cheap $31.5 million guaranteed contract. You don't have to pay him. You just get 5 years of a really cheap wide receiver. You do it again.
That's true. That's true.
You
But,
never have to pay a big
But
contract.
if you land a Carnell Tate and then all of a sudden he looks like Justin Jefferson out there, and then like, do you pay him? Can you pay him?
Right.
Like,
you got
it
to
brings
feel
a-
like these guys will hold out after year 3 or 4 if their contract, if they're
Yeah.
that good. But
and wide receivers come at a premium. So
yeah,
Fred Smith with the 5 bomb says he has a super hard job. It's crazy. He really does. That's the thing, dude. There's almost no middle ground with Brett Veach and Chiefs Kingdom. It's either in Veach we trust or
Oh,
it's
yeah.
he sucks. We got to get rid of him. And like, I happen to be maybe one of the few middle ground people on Brett Veach. Like, I don't think he's the greatest GM ever. I think when it comes to acquiring players, John Dorsey was better. But Brett Veach is better with numbers than John Dorsey. John
Right,
Dorsey,
John Dorsey put you in cap hell.
yeah, he puts you in cap hell real fast. He's done it to a handful of franchises. But I think Brett Veach is done good enough and well enough that everybody should trust him somewhat, because I mean, this entire dynasty coming under Veach's watch, and to be able to sustain, 8 years at a high level like that, it's not easy.
Right.
It's really not. So I mean, I think you have to give Brett Veach his flowers, but you can't. Like, I'm at the same time I say that, I don't just think Brett Veach is perfect and he's always going to do everything right.
Steve, I think you have to judge him based off each individual pick and how he does. Like, he's not always going to hit. He's not always going to miss. He deserves criticism sometimes. Sometimes he deserves praise. Like, you can't blindly just follow one side just to be right or wrong on an issue.
Right. Practice squad, Mike and Steve.
Yeah.
And then, hey, when I made it off the practice squad and I got to play in the real game, I looked a little bit better.
Dang.
Yeah, I
Why'd
played
you steal
tight end for a
Kelsey's
little
jersey?
bit. I was actually standing in for Kelsey. He was injured. He didn't want anybody to know. And I've just faked being Kelsey. I think that's when I went off for like 4 touchdowns versus the Raiders.
Were you in front of Deneric? Is that Deneric Prince up there in front of you? Number
I don't
34?
know. You remember that 4 touchdown game Kelsey had? That was me.
Yeah.
That was me. Let's go. And then we got Reuben Bain here too.
Oh, yeah. Reuben Bain's looking really good in a Chiefs uniform.
Let's go. Appreciate the support, Fred. Thanks so much. Appreciate all you guys being here tonight. Do us a favor. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't done that already. That helps us out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hang out with us more often. We'll be back with much more Chiefs content for you every damn day. Just ask Mike. He works his butt off. We got Fred with another 5. Says, only kidding about it. Practice squad, and y'all are top of these podcast pile. Y'all are the best.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, Mike's been putting in a lot of work, so shout out, Mike. And we'll be back with a lot more content. And like I said, be on the lookout here soon for our first official Chiefs mock draft, where we're
excited about it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. But yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit that like button on the way out. And shout out DraftKings for sponsoring today's live stream. We'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.
Wow.